Welcome to our next episode of
Fandom
Family
Chats.
This is a production of Family Fan Clubs on Facebook. You can find us all over Facebook. You can find us all over social media under Fandom Family Chats. Look us up, get dialed in, get plugged in, and get ready to listen to some crazy people talk crazy stuff.
Hey guys, welcome back to Fandom Family Chats. I'm Maureen.
I'm Jeanette.
I'm Eve.
And tonight we are back with another Cruel Summer episode. And I would like to brag about all of us because we all got one pivotal plot point correct. So there's that. I don't know. I was trying to take stock of what I was right about and what I was wrong about as I watched it. But at some point halfway through-ish, I got lost on what I was right and wrong about.
So this is why our notes, I'm not going to copy over them anymore. So we can see what we thought at each point in these episodes. You all have to put yours in there. This is the only thing. We won't know. We'll just know what I thought.
It took me forever to watch this dang episode because I had to keep going back.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I had to keep going back and watch the same scene 3 times. Darn it, I missed it again. So
what was that word she said? What was that thing in the background?
Hey, what was that? What was that look that she just gave me for a total of 1 nanosecond? I have to go back.
Everything has meaning. Everything.
It's so stressful and exhausting to watch the show, but I can't stop.
No, it's good.
I have to know what happens.
Part of me every week wants to go back and rewatch all of the episodes at one shot. Every week I kind of want to do that to see, okay, I know this now. What did I miss? What time?
I plan to do this every, I did it after the first 4. I'm going to try to do it after every few episodes, then go back and just kind of do it that way is my plan.
Because that's what I did last week and I found a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I figured maybe around episode 7, I'll go back and I'll watch all 7. And then before the finale, I'll do it one more time.
Yeah. Because we are halfway through now, guys. We've seen 5 episodes. We're already halfway through Cruel Summer season 2. So we only have 5 left. And even in the preview this week, I had to pause and rewind a couple times to be like, what is this?
What are they saying? Yeah, no, a lot.
Let's dig right into the beginning of summer 1999. It was packed full of information. We kind of got a glimpse of how, because that was one question of, how did Megan end up with him if Isabella was with him? So we kind of got a glimpse of how that's going to start. So let's dig into summer 99.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't know, I feel like summer of 99 almost always has I take so many notes on that time period. But I mean, maybe that's, I don't know, maybe there's a lot of backstory in that time period, but I don't know. I always feel like I take more notes there. We saw again, we got information about Lisa, which was kind of pivotal. We've all been wanting to know about that. Isabella was still writing letters to her, telling her how happy she was and how sweet Luke was and all of this stuff.
Honestly, the way she's been writing them, that was one of my biggest clues of Lisa being dead, was how she was writing them and phrasing them throughout the whole series so far.
That was my question, because when I was watching it, I was because I was very confused about the timeline of this whole Lisa thing, because, I mean, obviously we find out at the end that it's confirmed Lisa died. But I'm really confused on the timeline on that, because is she already dead at the very beginning in the summer of 99?
Yes.
I think yes.
Because I was I would not put it past her to be writing these fake letters to
have her sort of pretend she's alive so she would, the cops. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. Or what I don't know. See, I'm so confused about what's going on here. Obviously, she drowned. That was the big deal that we found out. I guess we'll get into theory, dig deeper into theories later. But I'm just really, gosh, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, if she's writing to Lisa as if she's alive, obviously that tells me that she either did something wrong, or she's responsible for her death, or she did something that's going to make her look guilty.
That's interesting, because that part had never crossed my mind until just now that you said it. I just thought she was writing the letters because she was processing the grief and the trauma of losing her best friend. But I mean, I feel like Isabella is so calculated in what she does that now that you say that, Eve, like she definitely could be writing these as a alibi that like, oh, like I don't know. Of course that doesn't make sense because everybody knows she's dead. I don't know. I was trying to figure out exactly. I mean, I always just thought it was just her processing her grief for losing her friend. But there could be more to it, definitely.
Yeah, I don't think Isabella is that what was the word I'm thinking of?
Calculated?
Well, she's definitely calculated, but I don't think she's going to be that emotional over her friend's death to the point where she's writing letters to process. Also, at this point in summer of 99, are we even sure that it's public knowledge that Lisa is dead?
That's true.
So is she writing these letters to make people to hide the fact that she died because
She could just
dead?
It would be helpful if we saw the date on the newspaper clipping that Megan was sent, but I don't think there actually might have been when it said what happened to her. There might have been a date on there because it would have said.
I paused it to read it, but I didn't even pay attention to a date.
I went back and I went back to pause it and try to find a date, but I just could never pause it fast enough to look, which seems to be the theme with this show.
Because I got it paused and I moved it because I was watching on my phone. I was able to move it right back to the frame that I needed it to be on. But I didn't even think to look for a date. I was looking for like, cause of death, and other than drowning. Like I was looking for clues, like was there drugs in her system, like Luke, and different things like that. But I didn't think to look at a date because that would be because I don't know. I do think she could be emotional enough. I mean, I don't. Isabella is a mystery to me still. I don't know what I feel for her because I don't know what I can believe. So I don't know what the true Isabella is. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I can't trust any of my feelings for or against her because I don't understand her enough to know who she really is.
And they've been showing so many different versions of Isabella. I feel like she is a completely different person in every single of the 3 time periods we see. Mm-hmm. So it's really hard to follow, like, which one is the real Isabella? Are any of these the real Isabella?
That's the thing.
The real Isabella.
And that's the thing that I noticed the most in like this episode, that we actually saw clear signs of, like with Trevor when he showed up and he's making all these comments about like her clothing, about, just different things about her that clearly wasn't the Isabella that he knew. So like we've all already said that we thought she kind of just does. She is whoever she thinks people want her to be. But I mean, it sounds like everything down to the way she dresses, the music she listens to, all of that could potentially be a facade.
So Jeanette, you told us, I think you text in the group chat that we finally find out what happened with Lisa. Like we get an answer. So the whole time I was watching it, I'm sitting there thinking, are we going to find out now? How about now?
No.
Surely we'll find out now. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, we have like 5 minutes left. When are we going to find out? But it was literally in like the last like 2 minutes of the show.
February of 99. February 8th, 1999 is her obituary. Passed away suddenly. I can't see the first part of it, but it ends with RY. So it has to be February, right? Yeah. That's the only month that ends in RY.
Yeah.
So February. So when she moved there in the summer, she knew she was dead.
She knew. And everyone knew she was dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and that it makes sense because the letter that she was sent by Trevor said, I should have let you know then what happened. And that's why he was so upset. I think that Isabella is a slight sociopath and she still is like, well, Lisa's my best friend. So why wouldn't I tell her stuff? And I don't think she's really processing grief necessarily. I think she's just like, well, she's my best friend. So I'm just going to tell her things. And then because she clearly is just putting them in a drawer and she thinks ahead to lie right to Debbie's face in winter of 99. So I think that she is just being insane.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not convinced of that yet, but
I don't know, man. I think she is. Given her conversation with Trevor, I think it's more likely that it's that.
I agree that she's a sociopath. Like I'm with you there, but I do think the letters are, I think it's more of like an emotional, like, I think it's because she truly loved Lisa, and this is an emotional way of like dealing with it.
I know I'm kind of with Eve on this one, that I don't see her being so, I don't know, because she is, even when she talks to other people, like the only time you really see her cry is in summer of 2000 when she's packing up her stuff to go. That's the only time we see her emotional the entire time. Even when she thinks Megan's pulling away, she's angry, not sad.
But she also, like, her exchange with Trevor with the I love you and the kiss, I felt like, because that was a mistake to do that. So I felt like that was true emotion, because otherwise, I mean, that probably made him not really want to go. Like, I felt like that was true emotion, that like she really did feel something for him, which made me think that she maybe really did feel like the same, like what she's describing her relationship with Lisa was absolutely true and real.
She did think Lisa was her best friend. I think she did love Lisa, but I think that she's enough of a sociopath to not be emotionally grieving, but just sort of like, okay, this is the next step now. So we're moving on. She's still going to be my friend and I'm still going to talk to her. But I think the thing with Trevor, I felt like that was more like, if I keep this connection strong, he will continue to protect me, because that's what he's done.
Get that either. I don't know. This episode got me, I started to lean a little bit more towards I'm pro Isabella.
I like her more than Megan right now.
Something happened this episode, and I mean, it was definitely a switch. But going back to kind of what I was saying about like how I do feel like everything, I feel like we have no idea who the real Isabella is, that everything down to her music. There was something that I noticed. If we remember when she played her 2 truths and a lie game, one of her truths supposedly was, or did we find out which one was the lie? I don't know.
They could have all been a lie for all we know.
Well,
I don't think they got that far.
Okay. I think definitely the NSYNC one stood out to me, that she would use that, because she said NSYNC concert in Barcelona or wherever it was. In this episode, when she was talking about like the senior skip day and let's go see Backstreet Boys, Trevor made the comment like, you used to be more of a Moby girl than like boy bands, which if you're, I mean, I was a kid in the 90s and all this. I mean, I know we had vast musical taste, but like, if you're like a real big Moby fan, you're probably not into like NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys. I mean, I was boy band, you know.
I mean, I liked them both, but I
thought he was kind of weird, you know.
I liked them both, but it's if you like boy bands more than Moby, you're only gonna, you can like them both, but you're gonna be concerned about one mainly. Yeah.
So I don't know. That just stood out to me, and I feel like it was supposed to stand out.
I forgot about that.
So I think
everything. What do you think that means?
I think it just means that like we can't trust anything that's come out of her mouth. Like not even like, I mean, he said her clothes, like, is this Abercrombie? Like, that never crossed my mind, that even her style was not who she truly is. And apparently it's not. So
and I really think that's why she pushed it with Trevor, because the way it happened felt like, oh, where did that come from? She was so icy cold to him, and all of a sudden she's kissing him, telling him she loves him. So even it felt more like a ploy than it felt authentic and real. Because again, we can't trust anything she does, anything she says. We can't trust any of it. Everything is calculated. And we know that she claimed diplomatic immunity and got on a plane after her friend drowned.
But she also said that was not her choice. That was her parents. And maybe it was.
But that's not what she said to Rachel or Rebecca or whatever the lawyer's name is. Was it Rebecca? That's not what she said to her when she was first talking about this.
She said, why can't we? And Rebecca said that probably wouldn't look good, but she didn't say whether like whose idea it was the first time around.
That's true. But the way she said it, I kind of felt like it was her and her lawyer came up with, well, we have to claim diplomatic immunity and get out of here.
Well, I did too at first, but now after this episode, I think it was more of her parents made her do it. I don't think she wanted to leave.
Well, of course, when she was saying that too, did she ever, when it was her and Trevor alone, did she say her parents are the ones who made her go? Or did she only say that when she was in front of the group of people? No, I feel like I only remember around the group of people.
I thought she said it when she was just her and Trevor, but I have to rewatch that. I don't know for sure.
She also said it in the group of people.
Yeah. Well, she wouldn't have brought up like the just leaving, but I don't know. I thought that was with Trevor, but now I need to rewatch that because I don't want to say, because I'm not sure, to be honest.
I could have sworn it was just with Trevor, but I can really never be too sure about anything.
Yeah.
Part of me feels like I need to do what Tiffany used to do and just have it running in the background when we talk.
Right.
So I can watch the captions as we go.
Right.
Well, let's move into Ned, the neighbor.
He has a name now, right?
Yeah, which I didn't catch until I read your notes. So
That's why I wrote in parentheses neighbor, so no one would be confused.
Even I will.
Exactly. I am kind of into your theory that you mentioned in our group chat about could he potentially be Megan's real father?
I think so.
Because honestly, I will admit that last week that was in the back of my mind, but it was like just like a fleeting thought that so I didn't even mention it on the podcast because I was like, I don't know if that could work. So, but then you said it, and I was like, okay, so I'm not crazy for thinking this. I think it's possible because I definitely don't get the vibe. I mean, I know Isabella said she thought he was like hitting on her. I don't think that's the case. I think it's at the very least a mentor-mentee relationship. Like it's some sort of mentorish relationship, whether it's actually familial or like just friends. I don't know, but I don't think it's flirty in any way.
I think because I was trying to figure that out. Now, Isabella said it was flirty, but she said that to Luke. And the way she was talking to Luke, I know we're going into Winter 99 a little bit, and that's okay, because this is just how these go. The flow is just how it comes out naturally. But when she's talking to Luke, she kept saying things like, she has a secret, and she's not telling me. She used to tell me everything. First of all, how do you know she told you everything? Second of all, why is it bad that she has a secret? Shouldn't be bad if she wants to keep something.
Yeah.
And then she said she snuck out of the house. No, she didn't. She told you she was leaving, and she said, I'll see you later. She didn't sneak out.
Tell you where.
She just lied about where she was going.
Yeah.
But she didn't sneak out. So the way Isabella's framing it to Luke is almost to give him the idea that, hey, just so you know, and I'm wondering if that's because maybe Megan in the end told Luke about the kiss between Trevor and Isabel. And this is kind of like Isabel being like, well, she told on me, so a good friend would also tell you about this guy. I don't think she actually thinks she's a good friend, but there's got to be something, because the way that Megan was angry when she saw that, she calmed down awfully fast. It didn't feel like. I think that just me.
No, I mean, I think she's just figuring out, like, because I think absolutely, and I think this episode helped me confirm it. Something happened between Isabella and Luke post him and Megan being together.
Mm-hmm.
It may have just been a one-time thing, whatever it was, but it happened. I'm convinced. And I think that's because we clearly see that Isabella didn't want to break up with Luke. Like, she liked Luke, I think, more than she let Megan know about.
Absolutely.
Which, was kind of sad. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that, because I mean, Megan likes him too, so it's kind of just a jumbled mess there. But yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know. So that was more of like, I feel like, I don't know, like she's trying to, I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking, because I don't know whether Isabella's like really so upset that Megan's like keeping this from. I think she is, but is she also like, is she trying to get Luke back? Like, what is the process there in Winter of 99?
Or does she just want to punish Megan for the sake of punishing Megan?
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I can't figure out.
And I think she sort of wants to bring everyone to a place where they all turn to her. And she, like what Megan said to him is, she knows him too well. How are you guessing that from? Yes, she went in the house, but I mean, knows what classifies as too well.
Well, she did bring him a gift.
So
I mean, well, I mean, I think I am on Isabella's side a little bit on this, that it is weird that Megan is sneaking out into the woods to visit this grown man who everyone thinks is kind of crazy. Like, if my friend was doing that, I feel like I would be a bit concerned. I would.
To a degree, I agree with that. However, everyone knows that Megan is really into computers and coding, and everyone also knows that she's aware of what his position is.
Yeah.
The other thing we found out about Summer 99 is that he is the guy she's talking to.
Yes. He is Crabbage 5 or whatever.
Is that what it was? Crabbage?
Yeah, it's Crabbage. Yeah. I don't understand that, but it's Crabbage 5.
And one of the things that he says is, or she says is, have you ever hacked the feds? Of course, it's a rite of passage, but it's a slippery slope. So that must be why she's freaked out about them taking her computer in 2000. Right?
Yeah.
It's got to be. That has to be. It can't, I can't imagine it has anything to do with Luke. I mean, Megan's not stupid. Mm-hmm. If there was anything about Luke on there, she would find a way to get rid of it forever. So there's no way she's.
Unless she really was helping him run away. So she hacked the feds to change like his papers of like maybe birth certificate. But I mean, you probably don't need to go more than county, but maybe there was something federal where she needed to go, because When she asked him that question, she thinks of it when she's looking at Luke's fake ID, is when she asks him if he's hacked the feds. And then she keeps going between the message with Ned and the picture of Luke's fake ID.
Unless she's like unless that's what she's going to end up making money off of, is these like branching out from these IDs. And that's what about hacking the feds, like getting these different like watermarks and things like all that stuff. I mean,
maybe. I don't know. I feel like it has more to do with Luke.
I don't think it has anything to do with Luke. Because
this whole thing is gearing up towards what happened to Luke. So if they're singling that out, don't you think it would be more specific to that?
I think it's more of just a red herring. Like, I don't know. I don't see how.
This could be a green ring pop.
I think it might be, if I'm being honest, but it could not be either. I mean, I don't know.
Better not be a green ring pop.
We don't
I'm
know.
not doing that.
The moral of the story is we know nothing.
Nothing. Although we did know that Lisa was dead. Okay, so we got that check mark.
Yes.
Like, although I said she's either dead or she's like her alternate crazy ass personality.
No, I knew she was dead from the beginning.
But I was leaning towards
alternate
dead.
personality would have been real fun.
I mean, look, I didn't know what to think. I still don't know what to think of Isabella. She's definitely crazy.
She's more likable than Megan,
mm-hmm.
but I still think she's a sociopath. I think Megan's just kind of a brat.
Yes. Summer 99 Megan, I absolutely adore. It's as we get past that I'm like, I don't know.
Even the tail end of Summer 99, I was kind of like, get over yourself.
Yeah. I don't know.
The other thing, I want to go back to the Isabella Trevor thing for a minute. The other thing she says to him is, you're the only person I wanted to talk to. Now, on the surface, we could just look at that and be like, oh yeah, okay, we believe that. But we know from the two truths and a lie that she likely is just lying about everything that comes out of her mouth. She just wants, except for the diplomatic immunity thing, which has greater meaning, knowing that she has claimed that when a friend has died and left the country, she's claimed diplomatic immunity. She goes to this new place and then says, I could just kill you and claim diplomatic immunity. Very flippantly, knowing her best friend has died, and that's exactly what she's done. So I think that that's the only thing that's come out of her mouth that is accurate and true. I don't know that we can believe anything that comes out of her mouth. She's very convincing. And she says that to him right before saying, I love you, and kissing him. So I think that altogether would lead to us to believe that it's really is, she's got a plan, and maybe it's fear. Maybe fear is what's driving her plan forward. And that's why she's like, okay, I got to keep this together as close as I can, because in summer of 2000, people are starting to ask questions. The sheriff is starting to dig into this. So there's all these things. So she has a legitimate reason to fear that this will be found out by the people there.
I disagree on this one. This was the moment when I felt like we broke through and saw the actual Isabella. I honestly, her interaction when she was alone with Trevor, I felt like was the true her. I can be wrong, because she's good. Like, I'm not saying
she morphs into whoever she's around.
But I
really don't like this, because I usually do agree with Jeanette, but I don't think even that's the real Isabella.
Okay.
I don't think we've seen the real Isabella. I don't know
think she knows.
I don't know if we'll ever see the real Isabella, because like Maureen just said, she probably doesn't even know.
Yeah.
I think that what we're seeing is her completely encompass the people she's around. She takes on their personality like the women in Hocus Pocus when they suck out the children's lives to make themselves useful. That's what she does. She leeches their personality. She leeches their style. She leeches their whatever makes her cool or whatever makes them gravitate to her. And she puts that on like armor. And I think that's what she's even doing in summer of 2000. She is, as Debbie gets sick, she starts to dress like the original Megan did. Her style has kind of flipped. When we see her in summer of or winter of 1999, her style is more posh, kind of matching Megan's. Mm-hmm. So she morphs based on who she's around, and maybe she can quickly morph. Like, she's one person when she's with the group, even with Trevor there, but when she has Trevor alone, she becomes who she was when she was around Lisa and Trevor.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to stand by that one. I feel like that was a truthful moment from her.
Okay.
It's okay.
It is okay.
I don't know anything, though. I could be wrong.
We are going to a race to the finish to see which one is right. And one of us is bound to be right. Because, I mean, they're opposite ideas, right? So one of us has to be right.
I'll be right about something else.
Or none of us could be right.
I'm confident.
Should be.
I'm confident.
I feel like these writers will find a way to put a third option in there.
We will all be right about something before this season is over, and so I'm okay with that.
Absolutely.
We'll just see what this is.
It might just be that Lisa was dead. That might be our only given this year.
And
but
if
I'll
that
take
is,
it.
Then there we go. We got the one thing right.
I would be so thrilled if we were right about Lisa being dead and Luke is alive.
I really want to hang on to that one, but you'll see in our theories later that I think I've let go of that one.
The other thing that happens in this episode, now you brought this up last week, and okay, here's the problem. When I'm not on the Cruel Summer episodes and I'm editing, you guys don't know this, but I sent like 1,000 voice messages to our group chat while I was editing this because I was like, but this. And so I wanted to communicate so badly. I want to talk about Luke and Isabella's first time, because Luke's first time was with Isabella in this episode. And we think that Megan's was with Brent.
Yes, I do anyways.
I do too. I sent the message. I was like, I think it's with Brent. And then a few minutes later, you guys are like, I think it was with Brent. Like,
even my daughter Elena, like, she watched it separately than me. She said the same thing. Like, so we all got that vibe on our own. Like, may not be true, but we all felt that way.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's interesting that he tells Isabella that he feels like he was in the Matrix before they met and he took the red pill. And then later on, Megan tells Isabella, I thought we were going to take the blue pill. She says, what? Yeah. She says, like in the Matrix. So I think there's something to that, but I don't know the Matrix well enough to know that.
I was going to say, I felt Isabella in that moment because my husband loves the Matrix. And I think it's like.
And you didn't ask his expertise on this?
Well, he's not been watching. He only watched the first 2 episodes. So I can't he's
no, I mean, you didn't ask, what is the red pill? What is the blue pill?
Well, I know what they are. Do you not know what they are? Okay.
No, I don't know which one's which.
Okay, so the red pill is what. Do you want to explain it, Eve? Or do you?
I'm here for the explanation.
Okay, so the red pill, when he's presented, obviously they pulled him out of the Matrix or whatever, and they tell him all about what's going on. Like, you guys understand the Matrix concept, though, correct? That like we're all supposedly living in this world that's like controlled and pre-programmed, and nothing is by chance, that kind of thing. But only a select few people get pulled from the Matrix and kind of get to see the whole picture, basically. Okay. So once they've explained this, they give him, it's kind of like the Men in Black, like we can wipe your brain kind of thing. Like, if you take the red pill, you get to keep your knowledge and you get to live outside the Matrix and see it all and see all the inner workings and the truth, the real world. Okay. If you take the blue pill, you completely forget what you're told and go back and just live your happy little life. So like in that thing, he's saying that he was living this like life of non-existence where he didn't actually understand like the true meanings and didn't get to see the realness of the world until he met her, which is actually a really sweet thing to say and pretty intense for someone who's going to just jump right back into a relationship with Megan. The blue pill is obviously she wants to forget what was said so that her and Isabella like won't have that between the two of them, like as like a barrier.
Do you think that's the only significance there is to that?
I think so. I think it was just meant to show or to make Isabella think that like Megan and Luke are more well suited, which I'm not sure that enjoying the same movie makes you soulmates. I mean, no. I definitely common interests are great and all, but I don't think that's what makes you soulmates. I mean,
especially because what made me think that there was more significance than just liking the same movie was the expression on Megan or the expression on Isabella's face when she said that. But maybe that's all it was just, oh, so she must really like him then.
Well, and I think that's because it was one of those, like Megan or Isabella mentioned like how she just, after he said that about, she was like, I really, I can't stand the Matrix. And then so to hear that Megan likes it enough to use it as a reference here too, I think. Mm-hmm. She just had probably an insecure moment feeling like, okay, well, obviously he'd be better off with her than me. I hope I explained it well enough for all the Matrix fans if they listen. Forgive me if I did not do a great job with that explanation. I don't really like those movies. It's one of the few Keanu movies, that and the John Wick. I'm not into like action, like stuff like that.
I love Keanu Reeves, but I did not like the Matrix. It was like
Matrix had super cool like graphics and like stuff, definitely. Mm-hmm.
let's move into Winter 99. I mean, we talked about a lot of Winter 99, mostly the Isabella, Luke, Megan triangle that's weird and feels almost incestuous. I can't I don't at this point I don't even care how they got together. It just feels incestuous at this point. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
Does anybody agree with me?
I don't know.
No?
I mean,
I think it's weird.
I feel like there's still such a large disconnect between summer and winter 99 as far as Luke and Megan getting together.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't fully get on board with, well, I'm with Maureen. It still feels weird just because there is still such that big gap of, well, what happened between point A and point B? Like, how do we get from here to here?
Yeah, because now I think we've seen Megan and how we see her realization. We saw how her feelings progressed. We see how Isabella realized, different things. How did Luke get there? Because if he was so in love, and we found out, I mean, Isabella is first. I mean, I don't know, especially as a teenager. I mean, that's a strong bond. And I mean, it should be any time, but I mean, I think especially when you're 16, 17, even if you're not in love, you're going to feel like you are absolutely in love. And so that's a short amount of time for him to then be in love with Megan, I think. So I'll be interested to see how the rest of that plays out.
And especially since one thing Trevor said to Isabella was, you've been here for only a short amount of time and you already are acting like you've known these people your whole life, like they're your best friends in the whole world. And she says, well, Megan is. I know I've only known her for a little bit, but Megan is. Well, then how you knew there was a vibe. You kept picking up on vibe. You kept telling her there was a vibe. And then that's the time that you choose to go have sex with the guy that you know that she likes. And then when she dates her, you're going to be hanging out with the two of them, knowing that you were his first. And that just feels weird.
Well, I don't know. That feels like small town teenagers. I mean, I feel like it happens all the time. I mean, I don't know. People in my high school friend groups, they all dated within each other. It was very oh yeah.
I suppose my high school was a little bit bigger.
Not my group, because I tried to date outside of my high school a lot of times. Other high schools, not like old men or anything. I tried to go to the other high school across town.
I only did it college graduates.
I mean, when I was a senior, I did date older guys, but that's beside the point. Taking a turn here, not that much older. Okay, not like a Kate Martin situation or anything. Okay, back.
What
from the first season?
Oh, from the first season. Okay, I was
trying to bring it back to Cruel Summer. It was nothing like that. Okay. Anyways, but no, I know, especially the popular kids in my school, because me, band geek, okay, I didn't fit in that crowd, but all the popular kids, they all dated each other, so.
Well, I mean, Megan is still clearly insecure, as we saw last week.
Yes.
And even they said today, or not today, in this week's episode, Isabella says something about how it's been different since that night at his house. And Luke even goes as far as to say, ice cold. So even with him, and then we see Megan is very suspicious, jealous. Something.
Did really finding the swimsuit upset her that much? It just seems like that was a big step.
I think she was pregnant then, and she was probably very hormonal and taking everything very personally.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. And I don't know when, because she said in the summer of 2000. She said when she was talking, she sat down next to Megan. She said, I didn't mean for that to get out. And Megan asked her how she knew. And she said, I found it in your trash can. You were pulling away from me and I needed to know why. She started pulling away from her right around Christmas. So I think that she was already pregnant at that time.
Yeah, probably. Well, is that maybe why too? Because honestly, I get how it can sometimes be awkward to you don't have a lot of money and then somebody buys you a really extravagant gift. I feel like Megan kind of overreacted about it. There's some major insecurities on her part as far as the money thing goes, more than it should be, I think.
She did sort of explain that last week when she said, you work for weeks saving every ounce, every penny, every tip, only to have it gone within a week for the emergency. So she did kind of say that was where it came. But I agree. She is a little hyper about it. But I think that's part of it.
Because you understand her parents are diplomats. She does have money. I don't think it's necessarily wrong for Isabella to want to buy the extravagant gift if that's what she wants to do with her money, and you are her only friend at this point, really.
But on the same
I don't
end,
know.
if Megan went to her and said what she did, money always complicates things. Basically
Yeah.
telling her, I don't want you to be my friend to give me money. I don't want to receive extravagance from you. I just want to be your friend. Because she said, you're like family to us too, in the best way, but we cannot take your money because money complicates things.
And I get that, but this wasn't just giving her the money. This was buying it.
I know.
Look, see, this is where I can't relate, because for me, I mean, it's not like I have a ton of money, but like giving gifts is probably one of my biggest love languages. I love to buy people gifts. I will do it at the most random, like I get joy from that. So like I can see why someone else would do that. If I would, I mean, I don't look at a dollar amount when I see something I think someone would want. If I can afford it, I just get it. You know, I mean, like it's not like I don't worry about that.
I get both sides for sure. I do think Megan
Well,
is a little too hyper about it, but I think that she's also made it clear to Isabella, that's
Yeah.
great that you want to do this, but it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I
think
I feel like I can't.
Yeah. I do think they resolved that at the end. So I was happy for that part of it. I think Isabella realized, but I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
because
thought it
all
was,
Megan could get her was that photo album. And it actually looked like she
Yeah.
took photos, Polaroids that were on Isabel's Airstream wall.
and just put, yeah.
So she literally spent. But the other thing too is that she didn't spend anything on Isabella's gift, but did it look like she spent something on Ned's?
Yeah.
So
I
that
mean,
is a
whatever.
little-
Yeah.
Whatever it was that was in that box, it looks like she spent some kind of money.
It looked gold, but I don't know what it was. He smelled it. So I don't know. I couldn't figure out what it was. I tried.
Is this a thing? Like if you get something that's like made out of gold, like you have to smell it? Like is that part of like the
Let me smell it to see if it's real. No, I don't think that's it.
That's too funny.
Now, when they solve it at the end, it says on here, I'm very sneaky. Who says that? I don't remember that.
Megan said it because she asked her, how did you make the photo album or whatever? And she was like, I'm very sneaky. And I was like, okay, like that's
like, yes, we know
you've been sneaking around Ned, you know. But Megan, that wasn't the only concerning thing she said this episode, which I know we've had Isabella say concerning things. When she was reading her mystery book, which I knew that was going to come back because that was like the gift that, you know, like Isabella brought her in the beginning. But she said, if I need to bury a body, I know who to call. And like, I forgot Amanda wasn't going to be on here because I feel like Amanda would have this knowledge because she loves all of her serial killer shows and stuff. So I really would talk to her about it. But like, she was like, shovel and lie or whatever speeds up the decomposition. It made me think, does she know how to slow down the decomposition? Because this is maybe how he was in the water and didn't like turn all gross like.
I'm sticking to the idea that she was helping him run away. Whether or not he is still alive, that is what she thought she was doing. I genuinely believe that she thought he had run. Too. Well, so I don't, but I think that she
each episode
gave Isabella that knowledge.
I don't know. Each episode I'm flipping. So I don't know. Like slowly. Like I feel like by the end of this, I might be like thinking Megan did it all. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But like Megan's just like going down as like Isabella's coming up a little bit for me.
Likability wise, I like Isabella more than Megan, but I trust Megan more than I trust Isabella.
I don't trust either one of them anymore, I don't think. I don't know.
I don't trust either one of them at all. I think they both did something stupid.
I still don't think I don't think Megan. I don't think either one of them like had anything to do with his death. But
I don't think intentionally.
I don't know what I think, if I'm being honest. I say it out loud, but then in my head I'm like, but do I? I don't know.
I still think there was something to that look that Ned gave her. Let's dig into summer 2000 with this. That look that Ned gave her in episode 1 when they found Luke's body. There was something to that look. And if he is her father, something turned. Because it doesn't seem like she's talking to him anymore in summer of 2000. Not that we've seen so far anyway. We haven't seen it at all. But that doesn't mean it's not happening.
Because it's only been in public that we've seen them even near each other. And I think they never really spoke in public other than like him picking up his lunch and stuff. I don't think anyone knew about any kind of relationship they had. So it would make sense that it was just a look when they were there with everybody.
She did say that everyone knew he would only take an order from her. That everybody at the restaurant, they all knew that she was the only one he could talk to.
Ooh, that's true. I missed that part. Okay.
Because that was when Isabella was like, did Creepy McCreep hit on you? And she said, no, nothing like that. But everyone knows that he needs someone to talk to. And so he only orders from me. He won't order from anybody else. But this is my one crook that's in if he is her father, because it has to be someone with money. And the guy who she described as being the musician, he wouldn't have the kind of money that would be needed for this very expensive lawyer.
Unless he's had him being a musician, unless he's had some sort of big break in that year, which I mean, a musician, I feel like it could happen kind of overnight that you could become wealthy. It is possible, I guess, but I don't know.
But I feel like it wouldn't be that, like, did it not feel like when she was talking about her dad that it was a made up story? Because Isabella said, he sounds like he was a lot of fun, a great guy. And she was like, yeah, he does sound that way. So I kind of felt like she was saying what she wanted from her dad, but he wasn't it.
Interesting. I didn't think about that.
And maybe that was Lily's dad, not her dad. And maybe Ned is her dad. But the only thing that I'm missing in there is she no longer wants anything from him, right? In 2000. Whoever her dad is, she wants nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
That is my only caveat. So something might have happened. But with that look that he gave her, I was trying to associate that with when she dropped off the gift to him. Was that look a look of protection? Because once we see that she has this relationship with him now, that look from the first episode gives whole new meaning. Was that look like, crap, you're in trouble now? Was that a look like, I don't know what to do? Like, what was that look? There's something there between her and Ned in summer of 2000 that we aren't seeing exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I
think whatever she is hiding regarding all of this, he knows. I don't know what it is that she's hiding, but I think he knows whatever it is. Even if that's just about the baby, if it's about Luke, if it's about just whatever's on her computer, whatever it is that she's so concerned with at the moment, I think he knows.
What if, because remember in that episode when her and Luke were up the cabin, Megan and Luke were at the cabin, and they heard him shooting and they ran outside. He said he's always talking about what's going to happen if Y2K happens and what he'll do if it doesn't happen. What if he was I know I'm getting into theories a little bit, but what if he was helping her hide Luke away because he knows how to get off grid? He's been planning how to get off grid if Y2K doesn't happen. He's paranoid. He's borderline delusional. So what if that's what that look was, I don't know how he ended up dead. I thought he got away.
That's possible. Yeah.
I like that theory.
I could see that. I want to know more about the baby because I feel like what happened to the baby is going to really help move our theories along. I don't know why. I just feel like it's an important piece of the story. Because even it's so cryptic, because even when Debbie's talking to her and she's like, I wish you would have told me. And she said, did I write it down? She said,
you were in a bad place.
Well, that's what she said to Isabella. But what she said to her mom was when she was like, I wish, you would have told me. She said, I didn't need any help.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Like, you didn't need, like, I don't know what that means with, like, did you have help from someone else? Did you lose the baby so quickly that wasn't necessary? Like, what does that mean exactly? Because even Debbie asked, how did this resolve itself? And she wouldn't answer.
Or did she just not want Debbie's help because she was doing something shady that she didn't want her mom to know about?
Maybe.
Because I was trying to think of, I agree with you. I think the blood that she cleaned up in the cabin was from whatever happened with the baby, whatever it was. I'm not sure, though, whether or not it was a miscarriage or it was something that she tried to take care of on her own. I'm hoping it's more miscarriage.
I hope so, but in my head, I almost think it's the other way because here's the thing.
That was that was my gut reaction was that.
Megan had a lot to lose by becoming pregnant.
And she said in that first episode, I'm just doing what I have to do to get what I want.
Yeah. She just wants out of there. And so that baby would have really and that would also explain so much about her, just everything about her. And it's more than just losing Luke. Probably whatever happened has made her into whatever she is in the summer of 2000.
Exactly. And It confused me because I thought that she knew Isabella knew about the pregnancy by the way she reacted to it being written about in the paper, which, oh my gosh, how horrifying is that?
I know, right?
But then she said to Isabella, how did you know?
Yeah.
So then clearly she didn't know. But it seems like if she was going back to the cabin to clean up that blood, if that's what it was from, it had to have been fairly recently. And she still had the sheets that she threw away last week, which we see come back in next week's episode. So I think that maybe when Luke didn't come back, because she had said, I waited for him to call every day. Maybe when he didn't come back, she went up to the cabin to see if he had revisited there. And when he didn't, maybe she had a moment of, I can't do this alone. I've got to take care of it.
Yeah.
And then she did it afterwards.
Let's think here too, though. Okay, let's do some math. Let's say she's already pregnant by New Year's. Okay. So let's just assume by the time you would find this out, let's just assume she got pregnant in, say, November.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be accurate.
So December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Could she have had that baby? We are very close to being able to give birth.
Like early labor.
That is 8 months.
Do you think the way Isabella watched her, that knowing that she was pregnant, that it would have gone unspoken?
I don't know. Because if we're saying that blood just happened recently, that happened in July then.
Maybe that's what the guy Ned knew. Maybe she called on him for, I need help. I'm over at the cabin. And maybe he helped deliver it somehow.
Maybe he's got the baby.
I think that would be noticed.
Would it? He's out in the woods all by himself.
People seem to know a lot about him, though.
I don't know. I'm not I don't know. I'm just saying, if this happened recently, I'm not convinced the baby's dead.
And it had to have happened after their initial sweep, right? Because they had to have gone up to the cabin to look for Luke. They had to, or it's just stupid police work.
Yes, I agree.
And if they didn't notice blood then, if the bag of money wasn't there then, it had to be after they swept the cabin, which had to have been by minimum February, end of February, minimum.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it had to have happened beyond, no matter what the blood came from, it had to have happened beyond that. And if her story is true that she did not see Luke from the time she set him up at the cabin, and she was supposed to drive him to the train station the next day. If she did not see him past then we have to assume that she sat in that pregnancy until the very, very minimum end of February, beginning of March.
Yeah.
At minimum. And it could have been a premature birth too. Maybe she didn't actually do that. Maybe she was so stressed out and she is taking those pills. Maybe it was a premature birth.
Mm-hmm.
Because we do see her, one thing we didn't talk about, we do see her in winter of 99, change her grade, hack into the school system and change her grade. So maybe she felt like, I need to take more pills to stay on top of things. So that could have aided in it somehow. But I think you're right on. I think that is why she went so black and goth, because she lost Luke and she lost this baby. No matter how you look at it, she lost this baby one way or another. Yeah. No matter how you look at it, she lost Luke one way or another.
Yeah. You mentioned the money. Let's talk about that. So Isabella claims that someone planted it there, but she claims that to Rebecca. Mm-hmm. I am still not convinced. I don't agree with that, because I actually still think that money was, I think she was also trying to help Luke escape.
Yeah.
And that was probably for him. Well, I don't know.
Here's the thing though. Again, if the money wasn't there in the first sweep of the cabin, they found it in their second sweep, which would have been post Luke missing.
Yeah.
So how would that be helping Luke? Unless they're thinking in case he comes back, or maybe Megan did actually take that. Maybe she was planning to run away to wherever Luke was going to go with the baby to get out of the town, and something happened with the baby there and she left the money there. But I'm starting to think that maybe Isabella didn't bring the money out there, but Isabella was keeping that money in a bag for maybe nefarious purposes. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been in there on their first sweep. So it couldn't have been to help Luke.
Yeah.
Unless, again, stupid police work. Maybe they just missed it, but I don't think so.
I don't think so, because I think the sheriff is like a sharp guy.
Yeah,
like
I'm not getting.
Yeah.
And plus, if he's a gambling addict and he just happened to find $5,000 cash, I don't want to think bad of the sheriff, but if he's got a gambling problem and he's in the hole more often than not, part of me thinks he might have taken his money and just tucked it away somewhere. So I don't know that they found it the first time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I really want to know what happened between, it's got to be something huge between Megan and Isabella, because she says in summer 2000, ride or die still means something to me. And I have hope for our friendship. And Megan very clearly is like, no, it's dead. And it's interesting that she phrases it that way, isn't it?
Died a long time ago. Yeah.
She said, our whatever remained of our friendship died a long time ago, and there's no hope of resuscitating it. I don't know. The way she said that was like,
look, they say all kinds of, I didn't mention this last week. They say such weird stuff. There was, like, I think they love to play on words. Last week, when Steve was talking about, like the deal that fell through or whatever, he said the words, "It's dead in the water." And I thought to myself, that's a weird phrase. I mean, I know that's a normal phrase to use, but like, your son was found dead in the water.
Yeah.
Like,
when did he say that? Do you know what time period?
It was winter 99, I think.
Okay, so before Luke went missing?
Was it winter 99? I'm trying to picture. Yeah, because that's when they first found out that, like, it was after the sex tape, and they were like,
okay,
yeah, those people pulled out. But it's still, like, I don't know, for them to use that in the script, like, it just seemed like.
So maybe they're just toying with us.
They could be. But I mean, I just thought it was interesting, and I forgot to mention it last week because I was just like, ooh, that's an eerie, like, terminology to use right now.
I wonder if he remembers that terminology now.
I mean, my head would remember it, but you know.
Speaking of, like we didn't see Steve or Brent, and I kind of like, I wanted more of Brent in this episode because I want to figure out how he ties into this, and we didn't get any of Steve or any of Brent. And I thought the preview did show him. Didn't he say it's been 6 weeks? Why haven't you arrested anybody? And then he says to her, or was that for next week's episode?
He says something this week. Like, he's in the preview this week.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking. Is that what he says?
I don't remember. He says the girls are hiding something or something like that.
That was this week, yeah. But so I think it was last week's episode preview for this week of it's been 6 weeks. Why haven't you arrested somebody?
I don't remember that.
So I was looking for him, but he and Debbie are taking a break in this. But that doesn't explain his absence in summer of 2000.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
And then she also asked Debbie to make Isabella leave, and Isabella again lies so clearly. I already thought that. My bags are packed. Parker's coming to get me.
Yeah.
But she throws one dig in there, and she says, there is something under my bed that Megan wants to get rid of. You should ask her what it is. Megan doesn't know that's under her bed because Megan threw it out, and Isabella went to go grab it. So this is her trying to set up Megan. She knows Megan's the reason that she's being asked to leave. What is her home? What is the only place she's felt family around her?
Yeah.
She knows Megan's behind it, so she's trying to punish Megan.
And that is the thing. She can quickly turn. And that's the only thing that makes me nervous about her.
She's a
like,
sociopath.
Even going back to, like, Lisa, like, could Lisa have gotten so mad about Trevor and done something, and then all of a sudden she turned on old Lisa? Like, I don't know.
I think Lisa found out about her and Trevor, and she was like, hey, now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It did say in that paper, by the way, that Lisa was with a group of friends on a coast for vacation from school. So they were with a group of people.
But I wonder what happened. Like,
I think we're going to find out by the end.
Ooh. Wonder if those, like, pills that she dumped, like, play back into, like, whatever happened to Lisa at some point. I don't know. Like, we still don't know what those pills were that she dumped. And that still bothers me.
Because they had, that cannot be a red herring. She was intentionally throwing, like, we stopped talking about that. We stopped focusing on that because there's been so much information. But what were those pills? She took them out of She took that out of the Landry's medicine cabinet. It wasn't out of the Airstream. She took them out of hers, out of the Landry's.
Oh, was it? I just assumed
she went in their bathroom and she took them out of there and threw them in the garbage or threw them down the toilet.
I just assumed they were hers.
That's why I thought it was Debbie's, that she was making Debbie sicker so she would have a reason to stay, because that's the whole reason she stayed.
Yeah.
There's still, I don't think this as much anymore, but still a part of me thinks that she's trying to replace Megan with herself.
Yeah.
But
I don't think it's too far out there based on what we've been saying earlier about how she just kind of takes over whatever personality she's around.
And my brain always hurts by the time we get to the end of these discussions. I'm like, oh,
she's dressing like summer 99 Megan and summer of 2000. So that was what was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But we end it with Trevor sends her the newspaper clippings and apologizes. And he said it was because he heard what happened to Luke and he felt responsible for not letting her know sooner that this happened before. I think it's too much of a coincidence that Lisa drowned and so did Luke.
Yeah, that's too weird. I'm sorry.
And that's when the sheriff is asking questions about St. Bart's. He found out somehow and he's asking questions.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that like Lisa was with a group of people makes me wonder if she didn't have some sort of drugs in her system too that allowed her to drown.
Absolutely. I agree. So let's talk preview for next week.
Yes.
There's a lot.
So
I don't know how they can pack so much into 10 seconds, but they do.
Oh. Look, there was something, and I got to talk about this. Goes back to the preview last week. Look, I watched it with captions, and I think I mentioned it. They said, remember, because I mentioned it.
Pronounces it weird.
It said like she's like they're trying to frame you, or they're, but literally the captions, because I heard it weird, and so I watched it with captions. The captions read you, but then this week it clearly said me, and the captions read me. Like, I don't know how that's possible. Like,
well, I thought because I was watching for that part because you had mentioned it, and when I heard it, I thought, "Ooh, she pronounced that word weird." I think it was just because there was no context. So in the quick clip, because when people are doing captions, like anyone can do captions. I actually signed up to do that, and it's based on what you hear. And she pronounced it weird. It wasn't just like me. It was like mew. It was kind of what it said. So I think someone in writing the captions just screwed it up. It was like, I heard you.
It messed with my head
because I heard it. She did say it weird, but I knew she was saying me because of how the word started.
See, maybe this is me like so into reading my captions as I watch shows that like I almost focus on the words more than I do like what's happening on my screen.
See, it was one of those things where it's like whatever you're thinking in your head is what she's saying. So I watched the clip so many times, and each time it was different. It was like at one point I heard someone's trying to frame me, and then I also heard someone's trying to frame you.
It's just like that
on what I was expecting to hear.
Yeah.
Wasn't there there was like a thing a while back where you could hear both words and you would say, like, which one do you hear? Do you remember this? Like it went through all over Facebook.
Yeah, Laurel thing.
Laurel, and I don't remember what the other word was. Annie. Yep. I remember that because I remember thinking, what? One of those situations. Weird. This one though. So we're gonna see like a showdown, I guess, of Megan and Isabella. Kind of like they're kind of confronting each other about all this. And interesting part of that is Parker is eavesdropping and is hearing this, which I already love Parker. So like,
was she eavesdropping on Megan and Isabella? Because I couldn't see the people in the background.
It looks like Megan in the background, like because she's right behind the door, and we also see like. When you see Isabella coming down the hallway, then it flips and it's Parker coming down the hallway because they switch time periods. And then you can see her kind of behind the door and you can see 2000 Megan like talking.
Yeah, it's definitely you can see Megan for sure.
Yeah. So she's listening to him. So bringing her more involved. And then like Steve's even questioning it because he said the girls are hiding something and I need to know what it is.
Yeah. And Debbie, obviously. Now, I wonder if that's actually in Parker's house and Megan goes to Parker's house to confront her because Isabella, I don't think is in the Airstream in this next episode.
I think she's in Megan's bedroom because I think she probably really did call Parker at this point to come pick
Megan's
her up,
bedroom doesn't have a hallway like that. Megan's is up in like the attic. Remember that you would have to eavesdrop. You'd have to stand below on the stairs right above the loft.
So maybe she's already at Parker's because maybe Parker came and picked her up.
Because Debbie also in the preview, she finds the sheet in the Airstream and Isabella told her to do that before she left. So I think that Isabella is not there in summer 2000 in the next episode.
That's probably true. And so she goes to confront her after Debbie talks to her about the bloody fabric.
And Parker looks very comfortable walking through the house.
Yeah, true.
I think the fabric is a sheet. I really do.
I think it probably is.
Because you look at the style of it, I don't think it's anything Megan would wear.
I know it's the late 90s, 2000. I mean, who knows what you're going to wear.
But going off of how Megan was dressing in winter of 99, I don't think that's what she would have worn.
Yeah, true.
So, all right, let's talk theories because that's a lot. Okay. So, is Luke actually dead? I don't think so.
I think he is. I think I've been trying to hang on to the belief that he's alive, but I think he's actually dead now.
I'm not sold on that. I'm still not sure. I'm still not sure if he's actually dead.
I don't know how. Like, because the thing is now, like, at first I was like, oh, because how did he identify that body? But like the sheriff, like, are we telling you we didn't do any kind of like extra tests to like confirm that it's him? Like, nobody checked dental records or anything? Like, I don't know.
Unless there's a lot of people who are in on this, then see, I'm confused because
I think Ned had something to do with hacking the system. I don't know,
But
maybe,
why-
but maybe it was that Luke went to him and was like, I need to leave because he was gone the next day when Megan went up there.
But I think Megan truly, but why put Megan through that is my thing. Like, I feel like that's a lot to put her through.
Maybe
of
Luke didn't want to
thinking he's
involve
dead.
her in this.
But especially knowing she's having a baby, like, I don't know. It just seems like cruel. Like, and Luke just, can't imagine he would just leave like the baby. Like, he just doesn't strike me as that kind of like, unless
That's
she
true.
hadn't told him, unless she had not gotten
Maybe she
around to
didn't.
telling him.
She might not have, because she would have been on New Year's Eve. She would have been maybe a month along. Like, how do you tell someone that?
Yeah.
But part of me thought that's why he took this time to run, was because Megan was going to have a baby and he was afraid. And he was like, okay, well then if you're going to have a baby, we need to get out of here.
I think he would have been heroic and tried to make her come with him if he knew.
That's
he
what
was
I'm saying.
running.
I think that's what was
Yeah.
happening. I think that when she was going to bring him to the train station, I think it was for both of them.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think unfortunately he's probably dead. But
I don't know if Megan is like, if she actually thinks he's dead. And maybe that was what the look between her and Ned was you took care of it, like kind of a panicky sort of, I don't know.
yeah.
I don't want to believe he's dead yet. What do you think, Eve?
I'm still leaning, for some reason, I'm still leaning towards he's not dead. I think it's a good theory that Ned has kind of hacked the system and taken care of things to make it look like he is.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really have many theories beyond that. I just really, just in my gut, I really don't feel like he's dead.
All right. So what about, do the girls know what happened to him?
Megan, no. Isabella, jury's still out on that one. That's same as I thought last week. I'm going to stand by it.
At this point, I'm thinking both Megan and Isabella have know half of part of what could have happened to Luke.
Okay.
Megan has one part of the story, and then Isabella has another part of the story.
Okay.
But I'm pretty certain that neither one of them fully knows everything that happened to him.
Okay. Good deal. All right.
I
so
think
okay.
that they both think they know, but I don't think either one of them actually knows. However,
Yeah.
this is going to sound real confusing. I think they both think they know, but it's not actually what they know. And I think that they both think different things.
Yeah.
Did that make any sense how I said that?
I mean, kind of, yeah.
Pieces of it made sense.
I feel like nothing makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
My brain is always fried at the end of these recordings. I don't even know what to think about anything.
Essentially, I'm just trying to get really deep so that make it as convoluted as possible. So there's a wide chance that I am correct.
Yeah,
By the
you're going to be
end.
like, look, I was right. Okay.
See, I said this thing that made no sense. It was super vague. So I was right.
Yeah, it's bound to be right.
That's a good plan.
All right, so who was he running away from? I still think possibly his dad, but I like my oddball theory that somehow the sheriff's gambling is going to tie into, because I think he's running from some bad people more so than his dad. I mean, the dad is the easy one to choose here in this scenario, but I don't know if that's true. So I still stand by that, like, because why bring up the sheriff's gambling problem? Why even show that in the bar, him giving money to that bookie? Like, why do that? So we know how close him and Luke are. We know Luke has unlimited funds, as Megan's like to point out, that he could just get his hands on money whenever. What if he tried to help him in some way? Maybe the sheriff doesn't know that he tried to help him and he's gotten himself mixed up in some like shady characters. I know that's far-fetched, but I just I'm trying to come up with a far-fetched theory. So if it is true, I can be like, look at that, I called it. That's really my goal here.
That's perfect.
If I'm being honest.
Let's be real. That's what we're all sort of trying to do.
You got to pick something way out there so that you can be like, that was me. That was me that came up with that theory.
All right, Eve, what do you think?
I still don't have any solid theory on what Luke is running away from. I think Jeanette's something to do with the sheriff could be. I feel like there could be something there, but I'm still really like completely lost on that one.
Okay. I think I just thought of one while I was writing in my answer, but I think it could be two things. I think it's either, I don't think he's scared of his dad. I think, and I don't think I ever, well, at the beginning, I thought maybe his dad was faking his death to get some sort of payment because all the money had fallen through on his investments. So he was using him that way. So maybe he was running from that. But I also thought, I think he was running from the life that his dad had for him. And it goes back to that one time he said, every time he starts talking about, I want to eat a gun, is what he said. So part of me thinks that, but would he be freaked out by that? Probably not.
No.
The other thing I thought is Trevor trying to frame Megan or Isabella for his sister's death and for Luke's death? Because he was with her when he drowned. He was very jealous of Luke this entire episode, almost combative to Luke. Kind of crazy. So what if Isabella is not the sociopath we think? What if she's running from Trevor? And what if that's why she placated him by saying, I love you. I wanted to talk to you, because she knows he's a little whoo. And maybe that's why she claimed diplomatic immunity and left, because what his sister found out, because she said, I wish we wouldn't have waited so long. Lisa freaked out. What if Trevor freaked out on Lisa because she was upset that they were together? And so he did something and she claimed diplomatic immunity to be free of him. Trevor finds out she's with Luke. And so he starts sending Luke messages. He starts harassing Luke even after he breaks up with Isabella. Maybe he's not sure. Maybe he doesn't know for sure that they're coming from Luke. Maybe he's not certain who they're coming from, but he's scared because someone is threatening his life. And then he actually drowns him the same way that he did his sister.
You're taking my approach. Going to go with a far-fetched one just to see if it plays out.
You.
I love it.
We're all doing it.
I love it.
Yeah. I like
it. Perfect. The tape, even though this has fallen so far back, I don't know. I'm standing by. I'm just going to stick by my original theories until something new evidence pops up. So I still think maybe Isabella made the tape. Brent played it, but only because I truly think Brent thought it was Isabella on the tape and not Megan, because I don't think he would have done that to Megan at all.
Okay.
But he will never admit that, because obviously, he can't get on his dad's bad side. But I think there's something special between Brent and Megan. I think he has feelings for her. And so maybe this was his way of like showing her like what Luke and Isabella have been doing. Because
he did make a point to call her his side piece in the last episode. And he also said to him, if you weren't two-timing on Megan. So I think that he thought he had the smoking gun there and he played it. But I think Isabella also thought it was her because Isabella made a tape with Luke.
Same.
Okay, Eve, what do you think?
I think, as far as who played the tape, I'm pretty sure, actually, it was Isabella.
Played it?
I think Isabella played it, thinking that it was her on the tape, hoping to, I don't know, throw a wrench into Megan and Luke.
Yeah.
Which, if that was the plan, it completely failed. As far as who made the tape, I had a theory last week. I don't remember what my theory last week was, but the jury's still out on that one for me. I'm not sure who made it.
Look, I think Isabella could be playing the long game here. She made the tape. She even had Megan wear the sweater that was hers that night, and then played it just so she could step in and be the hero and say, look,
I think so too.
Pretend it's me. I'll do this for you because I'm your ride or die. I mean, she could have thought this out like long term.
Well, I think here's what I think happened. I think that she did, because if she actually is looking for tapes in the last episode, in episode 4, if she actually is looking for the tapes, she knows that there's one of her and Luke somewhere. Yes. So that's what she's trying to find. But I think what happened when she realized, okay, it's not me on the tape, so now I get to play hero. So now I'm just going to claim it. I think that she thought of that afterwards, but I think that she looked appropriately shamed. So that's why I think
Yeah.
Brent played it and not her. But I do think that's why she took the credit for it, because
Yeah.
she wanted to be the hero. I don't know. Maybe her and Trevor are both insane.
Maybe.
All right. What was Jeff doing for money? This one still trips me up.
I know. I feel like maybe this isn't even important anymore. But so I'm just gonna stick with still same theory. I think maybe he had to do with some of these. It's gonna be something filmmaking, right? So maybe he was like selling these tapes that Brent was making or something. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think that. Do you really think Brent would want him involved in watching him have sex with girls?
I don't think Brent would care.
Really, you don't?
No.
Don't we want to believe that there's some sort of goodness left in Brent, and that's why he was sticking up for Megan?
I mean, I don't need to believe that. We know I can like the shady red flag guys. Like, I don't need to believe that there's, because I believe both can be true. I think you can't have a soft spot and care for Megan, but still be this complete douchebag jerk. I think he can be both.
I think it might be something to do with Steve.
Okay.
Because I think that's how she would have figured. I think that's how she would have had knowledge of it. Yeah, when she was dating Jeff, he might have said it to her, but I don't know. I feel like Luke might have let it, or maybe not Luke, but I feel like she would have had direct access to see him, and he would have had to explain it. And that's why he would have told her, especially if he's trying to date her. I don't think he would be like, hey, so by the way, I'm doing the super illegal, gross thing.
Yeah.
I think she might have caught him and he had to explain it. But I genuinely have zero idea here. I'm just throwing a rock and trying to hit something.
And I don't know if it's even important anymore. I
It
wonder
is,
if this
though.
question...
They just because it's not important in this current episode doesn't mean it's no longer important, because they made a point to have that scene where she said it's more like we are choosing mutual destruction.
Yeah.
They made it a point to do that. Eve, what do you think? What was Jeff doing for money?
I'm starting to think it was the tapes.
Brent's tapes?
Yeah, Brent's tapes. And as far as Brent goes, I also really don't think he cares.
I think he'd show the world and be proud of it.
So we've already answered who's your cyber friend. Now, what do we think happened to Lisa in St. Bart's summer of '98?
Okay, so I'm gonna go. I put in here, but like I'm gonna add to it. I know that we said she died, and we think Isabella was involved, but it was an accident. I'm not like it could. That's still one theory in my head. On the complete other side of the coin is that she drugged her, and she drowned just like Luke has. Now, why she drugged her, I don't know. I haven't figured that part out in my head yet. But
or were they involved? Or were both of them involved in,
maybe they were both taking some kind of like.
That's what I'm thinking now, is what if they were both taking something?
Lisa and Isabella?
Yeah, Lisa and Isabella were both taking something, and Lisa unfortunately drowned.
And Isabella just can't say that was going on. Because obviously they were all drinking, because he was like, I can't believe you drink anymore. So maybe on top of drinking, the girls had been taking some like pills and stuff.
Yeah, so if Isabella was so inebriated, there's a good chance she doesn't even know for sure exactly what happened with Lisa. I mean, she knows that she drowned, but there's a chance she doesn't even remember it or how it would have.
What was that last thing you said?
Oh, I don't remember. Isabella were both taking something. Lisa accidentally drowned. Oh, and then because they were both so inebriated, there's a chance that Isabella doesn't even fully remember what happened.
Okay. I have another theory now.
Oh, you are sticking to poor Trevor. Trevor is getting the Mallory treatment right now. Like Maureen has zoomed in on he is a bad guy.
There's a reason he popped it. I think he has more reason to pop up more than just sending her an article about this Lisa girl. I think he's trying to damage Megan. There's something, or not Megan, Isabella, I mean.
Isabella, yeah.
So at first I was like, well, maybe Trevor rage killed her. Which I think is still far-fetched enough to be possible. Again,
okay, sure.
Going far-fetched here.
Sure.
Or he and Isabella planned it together using her favorite drink, which she made a point to point out to Megan when they went to the bar.
Libras.
Yes. And that's why he said, I can't believe you drink anymore, because you used drink to kill her. That's what we planned together. And we said that we were never going to have to do this again. We were going to be free after this. And then that's why he's so upset that she left. And he even said He even said, "You left me alone to deal with all the police's questions." So he said that in this episode. So
Interesting.
I think they're both involved in it, but it could be that she's
Okay.
covering for him.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
the other thing that I had is Isabella drugged her when she was upset at her reaction to her and Trevor.
Okay. Wow. There you go.
I would call it the Mallory treatment.
It's a little bit of the Mallory treatment, but it's okay. It's okay.
Still stand by my Mallory vibe.
Yeah, you were wrong. All right, so what happened to the baby? We know she lost it. Well, we don't know she lost it. I honestly think she did something. I don't want to think that, but that's where my head keeps going because I think she has made such a point to talk about like how important her future is to her.
Mm-hmm. That was my gut instinct when I think I even put in the chat, did she do that to herself? Because I thought they were going to say what happened because I'm an idiot. I thought they were going to say in that episode what happened.
Part of me hopes that's not the route. I mean, because I don't want to believe that. I want to believe that the baby's alive somehow. But I just don't think so. I think
really
she did something.
think that what they did in this season different than last season is they made everyone some sort of toxic. I think everybody they introduce has some sort of toxicity to them. And I think this is Megan's toxic trait, is that she will do whatever it takes to protect her future.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
I do kind of like the theory that Ned helped her out with it though.
I mean, I think it's possible.
Eve, what do you think? What do you think happened to Megan's baby?
I'm
For Ned is the father. If he's not her father.
Hopefully not both. My God. Yeah, that would take a turn.
I don't like either one of those. Anyway, moving on. I think she either took care of it herself or it was born premature. I'm just trying to figure out, well, if there was so much, like that much blood, like I guess it could be either one, but more toward the baby was born premature.
I like that plan better, but maybe it's alive somewhere. Ned has it.
Okay.
I think it's just me clinging on to a happy ending. I don't know.
Me too.
So both of those theories are perfectly plausible, that it was a miscarriage or that it was a birth, that maybe the baby had died. Maybe that was what she used with the lie and the shovel, was maybe it was premature and it died at birth. But unfortunately, all of those theories are plausible. None of them is too far-fetched to be a realistic option.
Yeah. No,
which makes me sad.
Okay, so we said that's kind of going on line. I think we all agree that the blood is from the baby and whatever happens to the baby. I mean,
whatever happened to the baby, that's where the blood came from.
Yes. And then, okay, so talking about Ned, what's his significance? I mean, we know a little bit, but I think he's definitely, I mean, more so than just being like her cyber friend. I think they're doing whatever this illegal work is that is on her computer, that I think, all of that ties in with him. And then I think I like Maureen's dad theory. Honestly, I do.
Yeah, I like Maureen's dad theory also. Yeah, they're definitely doing some kind of, shady hacker stuff together for sure. And how that ties into Luke, not sure.
I'm not convinced that he has anything to do with Luke at this point. I mean, I think if he does, he knows whatever Megan knows, which I don't think is very much. So
I think that he is, if he's not her real father, I think he's at least a surrogate father. And that might be why she was so upset at accepting anything from the other guy. Mm-hmm. But she views him as father in some way, shape, or form. But I think that's why he would be so invested in her. All right, last question. What were the pills Isabella flushed?
Well, I originally thought they were like antipsychotics, but now that you say that they came from the Landry's medicine cabinet, I don't know. I'm lost now.
I think they're Debbie's pills, and I think she flushed them to keep her sick so she would have reason to stay.
Yeah.
Because that's what she told the cop. The cop said, I thought you had your ticket. And she said, I did, but then Debbie got sick, so I decided I needed to stay.
I really can't think of any other reason why she would flush them down the toilet, especially if they weren't hers.
Unless there's something of Megan's and whatever it was that Megan was taking back and she was doing or trying to protect Megan by getting rid of it. But I don't know. I don't think that's actually true, but That's the only other thing that I can possibly think of.
Yeah, I mean, I can see if like maybe she was like if someone was taking them who shouldn't be taking them, her flushing them to protect them. But if they are, Debbie's pills that she's supposed to be taking,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of any other reason why she would do that other than she wants, Debbie to go cuckoo and allow her to stay.
And that's the other thing is, what is Debbie sick with?
We still need to know what Debbie's sick with. We probably should have.
Yes.
I don't know if we'll ever get that answer, but
I think we have to. I think it's kind of a part of the story.
because I mean, like, I don't know. She doesn't. Of course, granted, it hasn't been that much time that we've seen elapse, I guess, in like the time period that she's sick. Because it's not like we see her like progressing, getting worse. But like I said, it's only been like maybe a month's worth of time.
Well, I feel like the only time we saw her sick was that very first episode in summer of 2000.
Mm-hmm.
But she's outside a lot sitting on a chair, which kind of reminds me of A Walk to Remember when Mandy Moore's character would always be outside when she was going through cancer.
A lot of pills. And that, like, I mean, she, like I said, she had like the grandpa size, like, pill box.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, like,
yeah.
But I don't know enough about to know how many like pills she would like, it's a lot.
I mean
she's sick with something. We know that, but I have no theories as to what she's sick with. Like, is it some kind of like some kind of mental thing? Is it physical? Is it like I really am not sure. I love how Jeanette's theory on here is something that requires a lot of pills. Well, that's all they've given us, so
it is. That's all it is. Maybe
lot.
Isabella made her sick in the first place.
Yeah.
But I don't know how she would do that and still have doctors. Maybe it's just a boatload of vitamins and she's convinced her she's sick. Most of my pills in my pill box that I have to take now, it's 3 of them. 2 of them are cancer pills. The rest are like vitamins that they want me to take. So maybe she's convinced her that she is sick. All right.
Who knows?
Well, I think that I like that we're doing these questions at the end now because usually by the end of these, I'm so confused about what I think and what I've said already. So this is helpful. I talk in circles a lot on these. So I appreciate having it all come together at the end at some level.
You're welcome.
I'm so mentally exhausted. Like I need to go to bed.
I know, I'm so sleepy. I'm like, okay, now I gotta go to bed.
Well, to know more, to talk more, to theorize more, to join another community where people are asking all these questions and coming up with their own theories, come and check out our Facebook group. It's Cruel Summer Family Fan Club. We have a spoiler ban there for 36 hours. So if you are worried about getting spoilers there and you haven't been able to watch it until Wednesday morning, totally fine. There won't be spoilers on there unless you go to the spoiler thread. You can find them there. So if you really want spoilers, go there. We got a spoiler thread for you. Otherwise, we start posting things Wednesday morning. We start letting things through. If people theorizing what happened on this episode, on next episode, get involved in the conversation. Let's talk about it. Let's see what you think. We want to know if you agree with us, if you have any theories with us. There's also, there is another source that you can go to. She puts out her theories usually every week. I think she was a little late last week. I don't even know if she,
last week she missed it last week. So she must have been out, but she's got this week's up already.
Oh, does she? Okay. So hers is Life is a Show 13 on TikTok. Her name is Megan. Check her out. She's also got some theories on there. I think she's in our group. Is she not?
She is.
On our Facebook group. So
yeah,
check that out too. Know that every Friday we are coming out with a Cruel Summer recap for you until episode 10 is done. We will do a final episode and tally up who was more right than the others because we're now keeping track. So
we'll have a prize for that person, I'm sure. Yeah.
It might just be a virtual high five, but we'll have something. We will have something. And every Wednesday, we're bringing Netflix recaps to you. So this coming Wednesday, you are going to get Political Thriller recap, where we're going to be talking about The Recruit, The Night Agent, and The Diplomat. All really good shows. Tune in if you were questioning whether or not they're worth the watch, if you're questioning whether or not you should tune into political thrillers at all. Listen to that next episode we've got. Also, check out our other episodes we have on Netflix. We've done teen flicks, we've done rom-coms, we've done comedies, and we've got 6 more to go. So keep checking out Wednesdays for Netflix reviews, and we will see you real soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Loving our content? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to share our podcast with your family and friends. We want to continue the conversation with you. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok under Fandom Family Chats, or one of our ever-growing Facebook groups by searching Family Fan Club. We've also launched a website, Family Fan Club 2021 at wixsite.com. You can email us there and keep checking it for announcements and merch coming soon. And of course, be sure to tune in every week for new episodes discussing all your favorite shows.